right, everybody. Welcome to SF Pitch Night 2022, covering the globe. We have an exciting late afternoon / morning / whatever. Actually, it's also late night for some of you. We are covering all kinds of time zones. Just a quick introduction. My name is John Hayato Branderhorst. I'll be representing B-Tracks today as the moderator and MC of some of the talks we're having. And before I go any farther, I'd like to welcome Brandon to give a quick welcome to everybody.
Welcome. We are having SF Pitch Night for the 6th time. And this time we have different setups from different places of the world. By the way, I am calling in from very sunny San Francisco. We have setups from Europe, Japan, Canada, different places. We call this SF Pitch Night because we are in San Francisco. B-Tracks is in San Francisco. But we are very excited to have this global scale event this time. So let's start the session. John, take it away. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much for that welcome. Brandon, 6 years, wow. It's pretty impressive that we've also been able to do this through COVID. So we've been doing this online now also. Here is a quick rundown of how today is going to go. You just heard the welcome message. We're next going to be doing a fireside chat with a few lovely guests. And then we'll be doing an announcement of judges, the prize, and then we're going to kick it off with 8 startups before having a quick discussion. And during the judge discussion, you will also be checking out some startup demos, shorter demos that will be shared via video. So stay tuned. Thank you for sticking with us. And let's see. So this fireside chat that we'll be having will be sharing insights from entrepreneurs. And so today we will have Yuri Israelevsky, co-founder and president at product and engineering at ClickHouse, that's a place to eat in San Francisco. Brandon Hill, CEO at B-Tracks, and Jason DePerro, associate design director and studio sustainable lead at Frog Design. Perfect. All right, so thank you guys for joining this fireside chat. First of all, why don't we start with a quick introduction of who you are, where you come from, and what drives you. So, Jason, how about you, sir?
Thanks, John. Hi, everyone. I'm Jason. As John said, I'm an associate design director at Frog San Francisco. And there I'm our studio sustainability lead, but I'm also involved in our ventures program and our ventures team. We work with a lot of venture startups all the way from seed all the way through to Series B. And then we also work with corporates, of course. My background, I'm a designer by trade, came from Carnegie Mellon. I've worked at Apple and Capital One and other Fortune 500s, as well as started my own companies over the years in robotics, as well as ed tech. So that's me. Hi.
Thank you very much. Yuri, please give us a little self-introduction.
Hi, I'm Yuri Israelevsky, co-founder and president of engineering and product at ClickHouse. We formed this company, a startup, last year, taking a popular open source analytics database, ClickHouse, to make it the fastest and most cost-efficient, secure serverless cloud product. And before that, I spent about 25 years working at various Silicon Valley companies such as Yahoo, Netflix, and most recently Google, building large-scale distributed systems.
Very cool. Yes, thanks for joining. Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So obviously, we are running this event 6th time this year, and I started B-Tracks a long time ago. We are a design company connecting US and Japan, and we work with US companies, corporations, startups to bring them to Japan and grow them there. Also, we do work for companies from Japan to expand globally. So we are very excited to have this event to achieve our goals and mission as well.
Very cool. So now everybody understands where these gentlemen are coming from, what they've done. We'll be talking a little bit about today what inspired them to become entrepreneurs. We are going to be talking a little bit about trends, what makes a good entrepreneur, and what areas are ripe for innovation. I will be keeping an eye on the Q&A. So, we'll be talking for a little bit, and then at the end, hopefully we'll have time for some questions from the audience. All you have to do is click on the Q&A function at the bottom next to raise hand, and I'll try and keep an eye on that. So first things first, what inspired you three to become entrepreneurs or pursue your current career path? I'll start with Yuri this time.
All right. So after I finished graduate school back in the 90s, I worked for several startups. Of course, that was late 90s, early 2000s during the dot-com boom and bust. And I've seen some very spectacular failures firsthand, still carrying a lot of scars. But it also taught me a lot of really great lessons. And I just had a great time. And then I spent about 20 years working for some of the largest public technology companies, such as Yahoo, Netflix, Google most recently, developing some really cool technology and launching products at very large scale globally. But I still miss that startup environment, building things from the ground up, moving very quickly. So when an opportunity came up last year to co-found ClickHouse, I was very happy to leave my cushy executive job at Google, and I never thought twice about my decision. So here I am.
That is a very Silicon Valley mindset too. I think that's definitely something that probably not as common in Japan, but we'll dive deeper into that in a sec. Jason, you've kind of done a lot of different things, both from being an entrepreneur but also working in agencies and large companies. Why did you end up ever kind of becoming an entrepreneur, kind of doing your own thing?
Yeah, thanks, John. I started life as, I was raised by entrepreneurs. My parents had started a company when I was a kid, and I always aspired to do that. And my first company was a car detailing business because I wanted to drive cool cars. Like, I thought that would be a way to get to drive Porsches and stuff. I ended up detailing like minivans and stuff. It took me a long time before I met someone who had cool classic cars. So I just have always had that bug of wanting to try and solve some opportunity or some challenge to push myself to work on. And I find that the times I haven't done that, I haven't tried to solve a problem that is my own, that I've had some sort of failure where I've either had to walk away, just burn it down, or pivot substantially. So I think it's that sort of idea that I can shape and sort of shape the world in a way that I see fit and solve some problem that I have personally.
Awesome, thank you. And I'll try and focus on the positives today. I won't be asking about the areas where you just had to walk away or run away from. Brandon, you've as you said, you've had B-Trex for quite a long time, but you've also worked with a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of entrepreneurs have come out of B-Trex, to be honest.
Right.
Tell us about what drives you.
Simply, I couldn't get a job after college. Like Yuri said, I graduated when Silicon Valley got the dot-com bust. So there was not enough job opportunities for a web designer. So the obvious options are either you start a company or you work for Starbucks. And since I don't drink coffee, the option was easy for me to start a company. I mean, it's not easy maybe, but it was obvious.
All right. So because Brandon doesn't drink coffee, he decided to start a business. No, that is not the takeaway. In terms of strategies for marketing you guys' businesses, or even how you work with businesses on the marketing, right? We have companies, we have startups, entrepreneurs, people interested in starting businesses from all over the world today joining us. What kind of strategies did you first use to market your business, and how has it shifted as you've grown? Maybe even from the first business that you started to maybe the one you started last year. We'll start with Brandon this time.
Okay. So initially we started as plain vanilla web design shop. And then after a few months, we struggled, and I realized that I have a Japanese background. So I consider that as my competitive advantage or unfair advantage, actually. So we kind of shifted towards our uniqueness of connecting cultures, US and Japan. And here we are. We provide unique services, connecting those two countries, providing design, branding, and marketing. I think that made us a bit unique design agency than the rest. So find your own unfair advantage. That would be my advice.
Okay. Jason, how about you?
I think that the first step for me has always been like, what can I get to get people to want to share about a story that I've created? Like, can I get people to like share through word of mouth insights or ideas or some love of some element of a product that I've created? And once I feel like I have that hook is worth amplifying. But before that, I generally am like continuing to hunt for like, what is that thing that'll get sort of like spread organically. And it's not until that moment that I find that, whether we're looking at ad buys or, things of that nature that we're sort of waiting in the waiting game. So that's sort of my beginnings of an approach.
Okay, and Yuri, I wanted to save you for last for this one, partially because this question connects with my other question about explosive growth, right? You founded ClickHouse back in September 2021. So not only first, how did you market your business, but also how have you achieved the growth that you've been able to kind of like get just within the last year and during this unprecedented time?
Yeah. Well, ClickHouse is a new startup. We came together to form it last August, so about 6 months ago. But it actually is built on top of very popular open source technology, ClickHouse. That's been around for a number of years. So unlike most startups, when you just get going, you have to knock on a lot of doors just to be considered. We're very fortunate to have a very large number of open source users, including many Fortune 500 companies in the US and globally. So our job is just to convert all of these existing open source users to paying customers for our cloud product. So as far as marketing, at least for this initial phase where we're just growing into that existing open source user base, our marketing engine is GitHub and the open source community. And they're doing most of the heavy lifting for us. And then as far as thoughts, I think your second part of the question was about growth and what advice to achieve that growth. I mean, we did raise a lot of money because investors, of course, believed in our technology and had confidence in our leadership team. And we're making some good progress so far on building the product, but there is still plenty of heavy lifting and growth that we need to deliver in order to live up to all of these expectations. But all of that said, having built a number of cloud products in my career, even my previous jobs, I've learned that what makes the most successful product that grows the fastest is not a brilliant technical idea, but really listening very carefully to what the customers want and trying to solve their problem. So I often hear people say, build it and they'll come. And I couldn't disagree more. If you build it, they will not come unless you identify a problem that needs to be solved and customers are really struggling with, and you come up with the best solution on the market for that. And also when it comes to fast growth, it really helps to find a solution that works well across industry and it works well globally. So in technology, you do that by running in the cloud and you get this infinite elasticity and global reach. So if you're building technology products and you want to grow fast, avoid on-prem stuff, avoid customer support, kind of specific businesses, and focus on serverless cloud products. That would be my advice.
Awesome. That was great. Great advice. I mean, I think the thing that we can all agree on is finding that problem and addressing it, as opposed to just trying to do something without understanding what the problem is, or the idea that if you build it, people come. It's just false. Usually, I won't say all the time, because sometimes people don't realize what was built is needed. But that kind of actually dovetails nicely into my next question around like startup trends, right? So, especially around the startup ecosystem, we have today a bunch of startups presenting from different geographies, showcasing different types of services and products. And I was just wondering, Jason and Brandon, what are your thoughts in terms of what trends have you seen in the startup ecosystem in these different geographies, or in the work that you do at Btrax or Frog? We'll start with Jason.
Yeah, that's a good question. In terms of like general trends, I mean, I've been impressed with companies creating increasingly more consumer-facing, or I guess maybe tighter-looking experiences that are better designed, earlier in their lives, by whether they're building teams of people who have that experience, or partnering with companies like Frog and Btrax earlier in their lives. I think on more like perhaps like larger trend arcs, I've been impressed, in largely this is because of my perspective as our sustainability lead at the company, of like the number of companies focused on being mission driven and looking at either social, like societal or environmentally conscientious themes, or B Corps, looking at the way they structure their organizations. And we're seeing that across all industries, whether it's something like financial that might seem a little off base to have those types of themes, or something more aligned to that, like you would expect from like a consumer good, for example. That's what I've seen so far, John.
All right. Brandon, have you seen any, we'll specifically say maybe Japan even, right?
I think, Japan has quite changed the last 10 years, I guess. Because when we had this event 10 years ago, most people didn't even know the word startups. There's no such concept in Japan. There's like new companies, small businesses, but not exactly startups. And now I think Japan has the highest amount of VC investment into startups last year. So it definitely is growing. And the trend is, I think as Jason says, it's definitely moving towards more social impacts, positive impacts to people's lives. If this was like 3 years ago, a lot of people in Japan, everyone was saying unicorn, startups. Slowly, they started saying maybe Zebra. If you know Zebra companies, it's like more like sustainable business model, not rocket, like moonshot type of startups. Startups that care about people's lives besides making money. Investments are important, but providing something valuable to users are also important. So they have mixture of like moonshot unicorn companies, wannabes, and kind of like these like Zebra companies. Mixture of those in Japan now.
And just to be clear, we're not saying that unicorns are bad.
Unicorns are okay.
I'm looking at yours like, well.
I mean, it's extremely challenging, and becoming a unicorn it's not supposed to be a single goal for a startup. That's what I would say.
And I also think it depends on the industry. And when we talk about startups in Japan, right, the amount of investment may be lower, right? So the valuation may be lower in Japan. I think in the US, even Silicon Valley, you typically will have higher rounds in terms of the amount raised, but also higher valuation potentially. So depending on where you are, the goals may have shifted. I mean, obviously, I think everybody would like to be a unicorn. Like, let's be honest, any company I start, I'd love to be valued at a higher valuation. But there is that balance, as Jason and Brandon were mentioning, around also, and I think a lot of this, is starting in certain industries and moving over, right? But Yuri, did you have any thoughts about trends and like the timing for you even to start your company? There must have been like the trend of the right timing for you guys.
I think, and again, this is my personal opinion, but I would not over-index on special timing. I think if this is a really good idea that solves real problems, I think that there's an opportunity to create a business out of it. And if you look around, some of the most successful businesses, large-scale public companies out there in the market were started during downturns. Because even though, yes, it may be harder to raise money, but a good business will always find a way to raise money. But you also have other advantages, like you have more access to talent because more people are in the market. Real estate is cheaper, office space, all of those things. So I would not over-index on it. I would again pursue good ideas that solve real-life problems, and the other things will fall into place.
All right, thank you. So we're running a little bit, the time issue, as we have a few minutes. I'd love to do this kind of lightning round where I'll ask each of you a question, and I think there's 3 questions I'm going to ask, and I'll just go to each of you, and then I'll ask the next question, then go to each of you, and I just want to make sure, are you all ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. All right, and I'll start with Yuri this time. What advice would you give to somebody who is trying to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, don't look for brilliant ideas. Instead, identify a real problem that customers are struggling with and come up with the most efficient solution on the market. And the other thing is have a good eye for talent, because as great as you are as an entrepreneur, you're only as good as your team around you. So focus on building this comprehensive, strong team with people you want to work with.
I kind of feel bad for whoever the third person is of each question, because they might be like, oh my gosh, there's my answer. Oh no, I thought about that one too. So we'll go with Jason next.
I love it. Yeah, what Yuri said. Is that a reasonable response? I like that, and I guess to add to it, I like Noah Kagan's podcast, if anyone's ever watched or listened, and he talks about kind of scratching your own itch, as we were talking about in one of our earlier conversation segments, and then digging into how do you find others who have that problem, right? Because it's not enough to just build for something as like a sample of one, and trying to find friends or family who will like let you try that out on them or pay you to do a thing, and even trying to find like, do that experiment. Just get someone to pay you to solve some problem for them, and scale that way. It's doing the unscalable things up front to kind of start to find that fit for your thesis.
All right, thank you very much. Brandon, anything to add on that?
Yeah, sure. Don't do it. Don't do it. But if you still have burning desire to do it, just do it.
Okay.
The first advice I give you to entrepreneurs or who want to become entrepreneurs is don't do it. It's not easy. It's really tough. But there are still people who want to do it, even if I say that. Those are the real entrepreneurs. If you don't do it, that's okay. But if you still want to do it, just do it.
All right. That'll work. And I hopefully none of the startups drop off over the next minute. Not interested anymore. 2 more questions. Brandon, we'll start with you. What are the qualities of a good entrepreneur?
First of all, persistency. You need to keep doing it. It's a marathon. It's not a short run. You need to be audacious, but also meticulous too. And the last criteria would be like somebody who cannot work for somebody else. If that's the only option you have, then you have no option but to keep doing it, just like me.
Be your own boss. Got it. Jason?
There's like some like dualism of traits of like being incredibly firm and like strong in your ambition, but flexible on the other side of the coin, in the sense of holding ideas in a sort of tension to find their validity and decide if I guess it's like getting at, I'm maybe using poor language here. It's like, I think getting to the place of finding like a flexible idea where you can like validate or invalidate theses and kind of find your circuitous path to that North Star. I think that's really the intention of that I'm trying to express, is like you have to be both very firm and very flexible at the same time.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you finished strong right there, by the way.
Is that all right? Yeah.
Yuri, how about yourself?
Yeah, well, obviously, as an entrepreneur, you need to be comfortable taking risks and making decisions under uncertainty. That just goes without saying. But I would say even more important is ownership. You might be the CEO, head of the company, but you're running a business, and it all comes down to you. So you have to wear multiple hats, and you have to do whatever the business needs done, including dirty jobs that nobody else wants to do, or this. So you are the beginning and the end of the company, and everything is on you. And it's very important to remember that.
Very good. So confident, but have no ego, basically, about what's needed. The last question, and this actually touches on what we discussed earlier, right, around like sustainability. But what are areas that you see that are ripe for innovation? So what kind of potential problems, what areas should some of these entrepreneurs be looking at? We will start this time with Brandon.
Yeah, I think Yuri said the right thing. Dirty job. Create something that people don't want to do. Something that takes away their unhappiness, such as like a robot that cleans toilet. Nobody wants to do it. So if you create a solution that reduces people's unhappiness, it's going to be definitely successful, and eventually at the end of the day that creates happiness to the society.
All right. Yuri, how about yourself?
Yeah, so areas that are ripe for innovation probably depends on the market. Being here in the US, I see 3 large sectors that are ripe for innovation. It's the financial sector, healthcare, and education. To me, they feel like the vestiges of the 20th or even 19th century. In the 21st century economy, slow, very bureaucratic, very haphazardly regulated, very inefficient. So I think there are lots of opportunities. And even with some of the new things like crypto and some of the online courses and stuff like that, we're just scratching the surface. So I think lots of opportunities in those areas.
Very cool. Thank you. And Jason, final word, sir.
Yeah, I think like this is such an interesting time to look for sort of entrepreneurial concepts. Is like the world has had this like massive shift. There are emerging technologies like Web3 and etc. That we're looking at that I think are amazing. But the one thing that just to be incredibly specific is like I would love to see mental health services for kids. Like the pandemic has had such a toll on kids and their schooling and not being in school and then being in school but having to be distant and they don't understand. So like anything that could like specifically focus on mental health and support issues for kids, like I will absolutely fund and finance if anyone has anything that they're ready to pitch on that. I'm like adamant about that one. I've been looking and I haven't found anything with that thesis yet, but that's what I got, John.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Yuri, Jason, and Brandon. This time has flown by. Look forward to staying in touch and seeing where you all go. Congrats on all your success, and time for us to move on to the next part.
Thank you, John.
Very much.
Alrighty.
Here we go. All right. So our judges today are, as you know, so we'll be quick with Jason. I'm sorry, Jason, but we're low on time. Everybody knows Jason. He's the Associate Design Director in Studio Sustainability at Frog Design. Kate, coming back for her 3rd year, I believe we said. Kate Karniouchina is the Dean of Lori Iloki School of Business and Public Policy. And we have Casey Lau, who has been involved in previous years, actually even was in Fukuoka many years ago for the pitches there. And he's the co-host of Rise, Collision, and Web Summit. So very excited that today's, they will be judging on user-centered design, global impact, how innovative the startup is, the business model, and the presentation. So we will have a 5-minute pitch that is pre-recorded, and then we will do a 3-minute live Q&A with the startup representative. So I think we're ready for the pitch battle to begin. I will start it, and then I will turn off my video so that everybody can watch. And please feel free to comment on your thoughts on the chat And thank you, Kate, Jason, and Casey. Here we go. Daiko is the first startup from Japan.
Hi, I'm Ryusuke. I'm going to talk about our service Daiko. First, listen to the problem. Have you ever been in a situation like this? If you drive to the bar yourself and drank a lot, even though you didn't intend to drink much. So you have to call an Uber to get home that night and come back to pick up your car the following day. Another situation, if you wanted to go drinking with your colleagues after work, you have to go home first and then call an Uber from there, right? Seems time consuming to me. And question, what do you think these numbers, especially 10,000? These are the number of deaths in the US caused by DUIs. In the US, 10,000 people a year die in DUI-related accidents. People tend to drink and drive if it's only a few drinks, but the penalties are heavy if they are caught. For example, immediate jail time. Hefty fine, average $10,000. DUI program for 3 months. Large increase in insurance premiums. Also, a drunk driver in 2014 wrong-way crash that killed 6 people in freeway has been sentenced to 30 years in prison. As for DUI laws, it's getting more strict over time. In 2013, the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, issued a recommendation to all 50 states to reduce the blood alcohol concentration limit rate from the current 0.08% to 0.05%. That's why we created a designated driver service called Daiko. Daiko is an app that allows you to easily find a driver to take you home in your own car. We drive your car home on your behalf so you can enjoy drinking without worries. It's very simple to use. Use your smartphone to find a driver and just wait. When the driver arrives, give them your keys and they will take you home. The business model is to profit from commissions like Uber, but by driving users in their own car. The fee is set a little higher than Uber's round trip. As I mentioned earlier, it's cheaper when you consider the risk of leaving your car and picking it up the following day, or having it towed, or car glass is broken. According to a government survey, people who drink alcohol above the limit hit the road more than 100 million times a year. Based on this, we calculated that the potential market in the US would be around 200 million. Direct competition. A company called Jeeves serving Florida and also Driver.com headquartered in Ohio. They both subscription-based, but we only charge a one-time fee to make it easier for new customers to use. We are also targeting our initial user base to be Japanese and Korean clients who are more familiar with designated driving service. Traction. We went to parties of 30 to 40 people and advertised our service there, and attendees and their friends used our service. About sales strategy. We use our salesperson to go to parties and company events to acquire customers. This is what Uber did initially. This is our intended service area. First, we will start around the Bay Area and then expand to other big cities such as LA and New York. As we grow, we would like to also aim for an IPO in 2026. This is our team. I came here to Silicon Valley about 4 years ago to become an entrepreneur. My background is sales specialist for newspaper in Japan. Also, I grew up in a rural area of Japan where designated driver service is very popular. I have a lot of knowledge and expertise about this. Thank you very much.
All right, time for Q&A. Let's have, all right, we have Ryusuke, thank you very much. Kate, Jason, and Casey. I will stop sharing. And yes, please, oh, please, there we go. I'm going to turn my video off, and when my video comes back on, that means there's 30 seconds left. So starting the timer now. Judges, do your thing.
Maybe I'll kick it off. I was wondering, you mentioned the first scenario, the first sort of user story around the you don't want to be caught, you don't want to drunk drive, getting somebody to drive you home from that. Are there other applications or scenarios, use cases for this type of service that you could expand into with time?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So, yeah, I mentioned earlier, like first problem is if you drive to the bar yourself and drunk a lot, it's not intended, but you drunk, and so you have to call an Uber to get home that night, and you have to come back to pick up your car the following day, and that's the problem. Is that why you asked?
Oh, I was just curious if besides the bar scenario, were there other scenarios for a service like this, where someone would drive your car for you somewhere? Other things you've thought of?
Other thing, I'm not sure. The other
He wants to
thing.
know if the driver can maybe pick up a sandwich or a pizza on the way back.
There you go. Nice.
I was actually thinking
Other
about a
services.
different scenario where, for instance, you're legally required to have someone accompany you after a medical procedure. So if, for instance, you're working in a general anesthesia environment, let's say, you are at a doctor's office and you need someone to take you home, even if you don't have someone who can kind of monitor you for several hours, that could be an effective application, partnering with those doctor's offices to get people home after medical procedures.
That sounds like a much bigger market than people who driving to bars and not realizing they're gonna get wasted that night. I don't know what it's like in Japan, but I'm pretty sure North America, people know they're going to a bar, they're not making it back on one piece if they're driving, so they're definitely Ubering. Another big question on this would be marketing expense. I think Kate brought up a good point. If you already just partner with hospitals, you'll already get a big name brand, because Uber spent millions of dollars branding what they do, and to get people to think of another brand, a Japanese brand that would drive them home, that's going to be a trick. So definitely, I think Jason and Kate have already suggested good idea for you to take a look into if you want to IPO by 2026. Sorry, that wasn't a question. That was just a statement. Just banking on that, give you some advice there. Sorry, John, if you want to.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you very much, judges. And just to clarify also, like in Japan with this kind of service, I would plan on driving my car and then having it driven back, right? So as opposed to taking taxis both ways, I think was one of the things. But who knows how it would work in the US or other places, and what kind of other models it could be used for. So thank you very much, Ryusuke-san, presenting Daiko out of Japan.
Thank you.
Next. All right, we're gonna just keep moving right along. Third startup, Nyonya Mart out of Japan. Here we go.
Hello, Vending Machine Network. We are Nyonya Mart. I have a question. In your lunchtime, you are very hungry. And what do? I probably go to cafeteria and get some pizza, but my Muslim friends cannot do that. There is a lack of halal food in Japan. Look at this manga. Her name is Mari, Muslim. In her lunchtime, she's looking for halal restaurant close to her place, but the restaurant is too far for her. In convenience store, she's looking for halal foods, but there are no halal foods. So in the end, no time for lunch. But suddenly, ta-da-da-da, Nyonya Mart halal vending machine there. Nyonya Mart is pioneer in halal vending machine network. My name is Saori Wijaya. Nyonya Mart will provide convenient and not expensive platform for people who want to start their halal business. When you think halal, think Nyonya Mart. My business partner, Adi, is Muslim. There are 200,000 Muslims in Japan. And in this world, 25% of population is Muslim, which is 2 billion. This number is very huge. So the potential spots for vending machines are everywhere. In front of mosques in this world, 2,500 mosques each in US, France, and Germany. And big cities, for example, there are more than 500,000 Muslims in just LA. The reason why we start our halal vending machine network, because can be set everywhere and starting cost is quite low. Everyone can eat tasty halal food, not only Muslims. This is vending machine in Japan. We have cashless system, 24 hours camera, and big data for sales. So nobody want to block our vending machine. And we have sushi vending machine and ramen vending machine. So Nyonya Mart will utilizing Japanese technology. We've already installed 3 vending machines in Japan. She said it is very helpful, also feel safe when she find halal mark. It was very nice. And this is our roadmap. In April, we will set in airport. So we are ready to build our halal vending machine network all over the world. Nyonya Mart halal vending machine will increase awareness of halal products in non-Muslim country, leading to more halal products. We want to make world Muslim friendly. When you think halal, think Nyonya Mart. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Saori-san from Nyonya Mart. All right, let's jump to Q&A, please. And I will start the time. Everybody's here in 3, 2, 1.
I love the vending machine model. I think it's super interesting. I think it's an amazing way to bootstrap and get started. You've already got vending machines out in the wild and you're generating cash flow. Question for you, is the ultimate vision to franchise these, or are you going to operate a network of them through your company, or both?
Thank you. Both. Like, well, I'm thinking which way is better recently, and then before I was thinking the franchise thing, but it seems like difficult to spread out franchise because we just started. We don't have enough numbers. Yeah. So I'm struggling right now.
I mean, you have a wonderful opportunity to build that data over time with your fleet of them. Is the vision to focus continually on this line, or do you have other vending machine brands or SKUs of like specific foods in mind for the future, like other ethnic types of foods, perhaps?
I think it depends on the place, not specific food. Like if in airport, like Los Angeles airport, if they sell very Los Angeles souvenir type halal food, that will be great, I think. And also like in dormitory, probably students are looking for easy eat instant thing. So if we sell that like instant food, frozen instant food in dormitory, that will be great.
I've been to Japan, and I think the vending machine and the convenience store network and logistics is world class. It's impossible to beat that. Have you looked at how poor the same thing is in the United States and the rest of the world, and how you might expand to those markets?
Actually, I know some vending machine in US just chips, right? Like potato
chips, food that doesn't go bad after a year.
Yeah. But recently, like the technique of how last like frozen and vacuum thing, then the quality is changed so much. So in last year, frozen vending machine is arrived in Japan. That is very amazing thing, and you can see lots of frozen vending machine in Japan because of corona situation. You had better come here soon.
Okay, I will.
All right, on that note, thank you very much, Saori-san. Thank you, judges, for the questions. Also, Saori-san, when you have a chance, look at the chat. There's questions there, so you can answer in the chat when you have a chance. So, all right, moving on to the fourth startup that will be the last one before we go to intermission. All right, here we go. And
Hello. My name is Jeff Zika, founder and CEO of Ergo AI. Remember that teenage rite of passage, the driving test? Passing meant new freedoms, ones apart from your parents. Were you a safe, conscientious driver as a teenager, or were you like us and a bit wild, exploring new freedoms, making new parents, worried wrecks every time we took out the family car? And are you now parents with driving age sons and daughters? And how do you feel when they drive off without you? My co-founders and I all have driving age children. Eric's 3 daughters, on average, have an auto accident every 6 months each. We started asking around and found out that all the parents we surveyed, 6% said they had experienced medium to severe anxiety whenever their teenage drivers drive off without them. At Ergo AI, we are working to relieve some of this anxiety, but making the vehicles young drivers typically drive safer. Now, we're a group of 4 Microsoft developers and managers with over 100 years experience developing and deploying software products worldwide. We were all tired of making products that made life and work easier, but really didn't make a difference. So we came back together after 20 years to form Ergo AI in order to find a way to prevent our kids from doing all the stupid things we did when we learned to drive. I'm a Usney vet, serial founder and alumni of Microsoft Digital, Compaq, HP, and others. Rob Bowman, our CEO, is a 30-year veteran program management, product management, regulatory compliance at Microsoft, Adobe, and General Electric. Eric Jacobson, our CDO, is a SQL data structures and containerization expert, and he was with Michael SQL Group, has most recently worked with Datadog. And Jeff Muzzy, our CTO, was the architect of MSN and MSNBC, and was a consultant to several auto manufacturers on V2V technologies. And Andy Foster, business development and marketing lead, who was a researcher and the business development manager at Fireside. We are enabling advanced safety systems in the other 94% of the vehicles on the road today with StereoVision platform, a low-cost standalone, smart, connected, easy-to-install device and companion app that has new car safety, communications, and usage-based insurance capabilities to any vehicle. And uniquely, StereoVision also knows exactly who is driving, so we can provide parents with driver identification status, potential theft detection, and provide insurance companies with driver-specific telematics. Now, StereoVision app, new drivers and their parents can monitor driver performance, trip history, vehicle usage, and receive notifications and alerts about their vehicles. With StereoVision, the parents of teenage drivers know who, when, where, and how their teenage drives individually and will be able to monitor multiple drivers of the same vehicle. You see immediate notification and automatically notify first responders of any incident and the location status of the vehicle occupants. And you'll see a dramatic reduction in insurance rates and lower rates for young drivers based on how they drive. New driver safety market represents a 1.9 billion opportunity a year in the U.S. based on the 2 million new teenage drivers every year. Later on, we're moving to the 25 billion a year usage-based insurance market in the U.S. and expand internationally in the 350 billion global market. We get paid by charging 3 cents per mile driven by vehicles equipped with StereoVision systems, a monthly app subscription fee, and through partnerships with autonomous vehicle mapping companies like here at TomTom and D-Space. Ergo AI is a deal position to capitalize on recent developments in technology, market, and regulatory compliance that make standalone safety systems needed and possible. Performance of IoT devices has grown dramatically in the last few years. There's a distinct unfilled need for data standardization in the telematics market. Further regulation on vehicle safety systems and insurance is coming to the U.S. and in Europe. Many of these regulations are already in place. And when drivers are getting the driver's lesson earlier with less driver education, new vehicles are getting more expensive as long as drivers keep moving. Our competitive environment is rather diverse and complex. Fortunately, nearly all our potential direct competitors like Netrodyne, Mobileye, Tata, Movan, and others are focused on tier 1 and fleet market, so they don't really play in our sandbox. Well, we do compete with the young driver and parenting apps like 360, TrueMotion, HUM. These are all app-based solutions where StereoVision is a standalone vehicle-mounted, usage-based insurance-capable hardware solution with an app for reporting and gamification, which we project will lead to a revenue stream of $1 million a month by 2023 and $20 million in 2025, an average lifetime value of $1,540 per customer. Alpha testing with MVP is done, and we're now re-architecting the software stack and backend. We're in negotiation with major automotive insurance providers to conduct pilots of StereoVision for consumers this year, and we'll conduct a fleet pilot with an automotive parts supplier in Minnesota this year. We're on track to cross-sell MVP product to new and middle-aged drivers this quarter, and we're currently a Microsoft, AWS, and NVIDIA partner in talks with Maplay here, Ambiguity, AAA, and others. We've raised $50,000 today, and we're working on equity funding campaign that will launch soon. My team and I started Ergo AI as our way to protect our families by finding a way to prevent auto accidents to save lives. I believe we have found a way and hope you'll join us on the journey to make it happen. I'm Jeff Zika, founder and CEO of Ergo AI. Thank you for your time and opportunity to meet with you today.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Ergo AI out of Seattle. So stop my sharing. I believe Jeff will be joining in just a sec. There he is. All right. I think last time, Kate, you didn't get an opportunity to ask a question, so you can start this time.
I'll start this time. Well, thank you for your presentation, Jeff. That was very interesting. Having, a teenage son in the house, I am very personally interested in various types of technologies that make teenage driving safer. I just have a question about to what level is your app integrated with the actual hardware of a car, and how, if somebody doesn't buckle up, or the face is not recognized, does it mean the vehicle doesn't move? I mean, what is the connection between the safety features and the actual mechanical interface?
Well, the goal was no interface to the vehicle at all except for power. We have considered vehicle disablement. In the US, it's a bit of a litigious problem. So we're not doing it initially. We may do it later on. As far as the app integration, everything's through the cloud. So the app integrates with the cloud. The app does not talk directly to the device. except for setup, because it doesn't use a web page for setup. And that's on purpose so the device can operate completely without the app. One of the design goals was it had to be installed be able to be installed in my mom's car by my mom and used in my mom's car. And she doesn't have a smartphone, and she will not get a smartphone. So it has to be completely independent of any app. That also gives the option that the drivers will get their feedback through an app, through the driver app for the student driver or the young driver, but also the parents would have a version of the app as well that provides them the capability of tracking their drivers in near real time, or their children in near real time. But everything again is through the cloud. So our device talks to the cloud via modems, and the app would connect via the normal ways through a phone.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
I wonder, I get the, I like the parent upsell. Like, I think there's a clear story for the parent about, understanding where your kid is, how they're driving, how to make them safer. Is there a story for the driver, like about, obviously the incentive for them is they get to go in the car and be free and
right.
Get to go do their own independent thing. But is there a story where the, your service and maybe the app is doing, some mode that is the student driver mode or the driver mode where they get something? Like, is it, I don't know, my mind goes to like the Strava of driving, so they see their routes and all the places they, cool places they visited themselves or something. That's where you're doing?
No, we're gamifying the driving experience for young drivers. So they get points, and it's for safe driving, and get deducted points for unsafe activities. Also gamifying it with peer competition, possibly. It's one of the things we looked into. We haven't implemented that yet, but having multiple drivers, even in the same household or in a friend group or in families, and comparing each one of them against each other and trying to build up that way. The whole goal is, for young drivers, is to make or to help them become better drivers, help their parents with feedback and being able to provide the feedback for them, and also through the app, through the driver app, to be able to see how they've been performing or haven't been performing, and hopefully make changes. Because with autonomous vehicles these days, it kind of dumbs down the driving experience. I mean, you kind of zone out. If you Tesla in quote unquote autopilot on the highway, we're kind of going the opposite way. We want to give people the warnings, but the driver's the driver. You're always the driver. So if we can help them become better drivers, that's the goal.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jeff. Very interesting. In my excitement to start the pitch event, I unfortunately forgot to announce the prize that everybody is pitching for. As Casey's like, hello. No, so today's first place prize, the winner will get a 1-hour mentoring session with Casey Lau, co-host of Rise, Collision, and Web Summit. You'll be able to talk about your startup, how to raise funding, hiring a team, go-to-market ideas, how to network, build your startup brand, and best next steps for your startup. Did I miss anything, Casey?
No, that sounds like a lot. So I'm excited to win this if I was pitching.
Yes, and I don't know if they're in Vancouver. Is this an in-person thing? If they fly over,
sure.
Maybe be outdoors in a park or something.
Get some great Japanese food here in Vancouver for them.
There you go. So very exciting, and also for anybody, for the winner, you also have 3 months of access to co-working at B-Track's office. So pre-COVID, B-Track's had a co-working setup that was called D-House, and so you'll get access to a dedicated desk for your exclusive use. So I won't use it when I'm in town. You also get conference room usage, 5 hours a month. So it's hopefully, we're going back in that direction, and you can we'll follow up with the winner to set up both the mentoring session and the co-working access. So without further ado, I will be sharing my screen once more, Nope, I will not because Jonathan has to let me share my screen. Here we go. Let me try and take away. Here we are. All right, before I assume anything, does everybody see my screen? It should say The Beats, Startup 5. All right, well, we have The Beats from Japan. Here we go.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Koji from KJ Commons. The company's mission is to maximize the ikigai of every individual to become more heart-driven and fulfill the life. Today, I'm here to present our new service, The Beats, which is a born global Generation Z friendly emotion sharing app. The problem we focused is the need of realizing the authentic self. Here we can see the number of people, especially female students, experience a mental illness. However, we found that music can lower people's stress level when they listen to their favorite music. From this, we found the power of music. Here is demo movie.
On our planet, there are many creatures. By far, the most unique creatures on Earth are humans. Humans are rich in emotion and sometimes complex. This man is frustrated by his demanding boss. This woman is going on a date after a long time. Uh-oh, somebody is feeling a peer pressure. This girl seems to be hiding her true self. We all been good times and bad times. At any time, people embrace a spectrum of emotions. When there is no one to understand, music was always there. We listen to music to our heart's content. What are you feeling right now? Anger? Joy? Sadness? Music that moves your heart. The Beats will connect your authentic self through music and emotion.
Right, so this is a demo app. There are so many darts, it shows the emotion, and the user can do the self-check-in. Now select the sadness feeling and write down personal emotional notes and select the music that perfectly fit right now and post it. I select the sad, so there are so many sadness content and tap. Depends on my emotion, we can choose the music. Okay, go to London. Yeah, through the emotion, through the music, we can be connected together, and I can understand the user's personality through the music too. And the more we can be closer. Yeah, and here there are self-coaching games. So user can enjoy the self-reflection by themselves with this awareness card and write down his wisdom or some self-reflection notes in private or public. And we believe the emotion is a guide to authentic self. From our prototype trial in 6 different countries, we found a positive outcome from the service, like a positive hint to move on from a past relationship through this awareness card. When the user was still reeling from the heartbreak, this self-reflection with awareness card helped to become her breakthrough to focus on herself and move on. Here's a competitive comparison. For Generation Z, meditation and journaling apps are boring, and it is not so accepted. We believe that the Beats is the hybrid of major social media and meditation apps to be accepted by Generation Z. As you can see, our market size is big. Now let's move on our business model. For the first phase, we will set a digital awareness art shop, like a skin in Fortnite. The users will be able to update and collect default arts by in-app purchase. It is expected to expand the scope of self-reflection and allow more ways to express their identity. Secondly, we challenge to create Innerverse. Innerverse is an internal metaverse where you can store emotion in a long term. the inner verse can be customized and the user will be able to carry out creative activities and new economic activities by NFT. Through our service, hardships and happy moments will become our new assets. Like the user's example of heartbreak, the art used in the service will become more valuable as more user self-reflection. Emotion, the guide to your authentic self. Thank you for your attention. That's all.
All right, thank you very much. Let's have Koji join us. And let me stop my screen sharing quick. All right, there we go.
Hey, Koji, that was fantastic. Great pitch, great presentation. Probably best pitch I've seen in a long time. Most creative pitch. I felt like I was watching a Disney movie. Very, very good. I guess I think you have all the points down. If you were to tell me this 5 years ago, this is your idea, I'd say you're crazy. But seeing all the meditation apps being so successful, I think this is great. What kind of traction do you have right now? Have you launched in Japan first, or are you launched in North America? What is the traction and what is the usage rate of it so far?
Thank you. Next by the spring, I mean the next February, no, the April and May, I will launch the MVP, so still under the developing. And as a first step as a go-to market, we will create, I can say 7 languages of it, and we will hire the 38 ambassador, I mean students, influencer in the 38 different countries, because our service key success factor is simultaneously so that the user can enjoy the several and the diverse music through the emotion and connect it together, right? So yeah, this is a kind of the first step and the status, right? Thank you, Casey.
Well, music is such a beautiful and very individual thing. So I wonder, like, what's on the background? How do you decide what song to serve to each individual? What kind of recommendation system is kind of under the hood? Is it collaborative filtering model? Like, how do you decide, for instance, if I'm going through the breakup, some song wouldn't set me over the edge because it happened to be my wedding song or something like that. So how do you incorporate personal touches into your recommendations?
Cool. Yeah, so on the API from the Spotify, we will use Spotify's API or iTunes API, and it has 10 different parameters to decide this is a very mellow and slow one, and this is a more dance music like that. So I can try to fit their personality if the user posts several music before when she is sad. So we can understand which parameter she loves. So yeah, our AI engine we try to fit like a
learning
TikTok
model based on the previous choices. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Is there anything built into it around how you think about is there like a concept of like session where you try to build like a soundscape for like a particular meditation or just like personal moment? Like how do you conceive of like these personal moments that you're crafting for your users?
Oh, sorry, I could not.
Do you make like a specific soundtrack for like a meditation or for like a personal moment?
No, we don't prepare any music from our side. User will choose, and if the user side don't come up with the specific music right now, then they can dig out from library or from other person's post, and select it like a retweet on Twitter. So,
gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much, Koji. You were able to pull off all 3 judges asking a question. And Jason, didn't you see the slide? Meditation apps, they're for boomers. So.
Oh, cool.
Just kidding. Thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies, everybody. I'm like, wait, I got to cover everybody on this. Next, we have the 6th startup, also from Japan, and Dreams Park.
I have a dream. My dream is to help dreamers around the world realize their dreams. Dreams Park is here to save people who give up on life without fulfilling their dreams. My name is Naoki Kumagai. For 15 years, I have been teaching high school students about studying and the importance of having a dream and a life mission. I am working with Mr. Tsuyoshi Nishioka to create Dreams Park. He is also the founder of Yumeo Katare, a ramen shop with 20 stores in Japan and abroad, where people can talk about their dreams. What we all have in common is that we have spent a lot of time thinking about dreams. Have you ever had a dream? What kind of dream? Dreams Park is here to help you achieve your most important dreams. I want to eat a delicious pizza. To becoming an astronaut, to becoming a singer. Dreams Park has it all covered. What do you do to make your dreams come true? Read book, go to school, study. There are many people who work hard alone to make their dreams come true. However, there is a simpler secret to success. This is what people who have achieved their big dreams do. It is to ask for help. To be able to ask for help. Many people work hard to make their dreams come true, but they don't help. Dreams Park is a place where you can casually talk about your dreams and the people around you will notice. They will support and encourage you. It is social media where experienced people can give you advice. I want to start with simple dreams and make them come true so that you can experience success. I want you to develop the ability to make your dreams come true. The dream you talk about can be anything. The definition of a dream is something exciting that comes naturally from the heart. It doesn't matter what it is. Achieve your dreams every day. Keep making them come true. A big dream will appear. Learn how to handle your dreams, think about them, and make them come true. Dreams Park has the means to get help from young people all over the world. We have a lot of friends. Dreams Park created a place where you can continue to chase your dreams. Your dream can be someone's courage. Let's talk about our dreams. Dreams do come true. Thank you very much for your attention.
We have Tanach. Tanach, coming out of Toronto / Japan.
Hello, we're a startup from Toronto, Canada. Have you gone out lately and noticed this happening in your neighborhood? From our research, by talking to many retail entrepreneurs, we find that there are three main reasons for this. The first being inadequate marketing, the second being online shopping, aka Amazon. But the main culprit we find is rent, taking up a large portion of their operating expenses. Our solution is to group together complementary businesses such as a bookstore, a cafe, and a bakery, and put them into retail space. By grouping together complementary businesses, what we refer to as co-retailing, we give small businesses a better chance at success. In Canada, there are about 140,000 retail stores. In Ontario, there are about 50,000 stores. And we think Tonnage can reach 3% of the market, which is about 1,500 stores. Our revenue model is similar to that of Airbnb, in which we take 10% from each transaction as commission. For 1,500 stores at an average of $80 per week, it adds up to about 6.4 million in revenue per year. We are pretty much a Groupon Airbnb hybrid type of company. The landscape is very competitive. We face competition from the big commercial real estate companies such as Colliers and CBRE. We also face competition from online listings such as Craigslist, and we also face competition from local brokerages as well. And now I would like you to meet our team. Here are some of our achievements, but the one I'm most proud of is the culture we have established at Tonnage. And now, a glimpse into the future. When we've collected enough data, we will be able to train our machine learning algorithms to optimize the groupings and provide recommendations for our retail entrepreneurs. We think the metaverse will be a big part of our strategy, and we will help retail entrepreneurs do commerce in the metaverse. And we've already established our virtual office in the metaverse. And now I would like to demo our prototype. As you can see, it has a very Airbnb-like feel to it. You can select the space you're interested in and specify the price range. We've also implemented other features into this map, and we've also implemented video as well. In conclusion, the bear manages to find a complementary retail entrepreneur through our platform and establish a successful co-retailing partnership. And for them, business finally starts to bloom. Thank you.
All right, time for Q&A. Time for me to stop sharing. Looks like David just needs to be spotlighted.
Hey, David, that was a good presentation. Very interesting business idea. What is happening right now in Toronto? Are you? I mean, I know we're in COVID and probably stores are just opening now. But
So
what does it look like right now for you, and what's it going to look like for the rest of the year into next year?
yeah, I think you've nailed it because like we've been pretty much locked down and business is not really flowing. That's why actually I'm in Japan right now, but my co-founder is actually in Toronto and he cannot really get things going. But I think we actually have more chance in Japan because like Japan wasn't really locked down. So I'm starting to see like there's a lot of interest. So actually we're getting a lot of interest and we're now trying to evaluate what we should do. But at the same time, we feel like maybe in Canada, the lockdown is coming to an end probably around April. So if we should put that in very good position to take advantage of the reopening of Canada.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you for that. I think it's super fascinating. I like before COVID, there was definitely this trend of, pop-ups and even like ghost kitchens on the food side. So I mean, I think there's definitely that interesting trend. I do wonder about continued like business resiliency if there's a opportunity for a two-way like push-pull relationship between like helping digital businesses pull into brick and mortar for temporary, some time frame like you referenced with Airbnb. But is there something the other way where you could help brick and mortar businesses find more effective online touch points? Like, could you help them broker better relationships? I mean, a lot of these one-off mom and pop shops have like pretty sleepy .coms. Could you pull them into more interesting spaces that aren't necessarily as I don't know, like they don't take as big of a bite out of them as some of the other players, like I don't know, I was gonna say Spotify. I meant to say Shopify or Amazon or whomever.
I think you bring up a very interesting point because like I think even before COVID, it was going towards the omni-channel strategy. So you have to almost like sell on multiple channels, not just online or offline. So, but actually, like some businesses are already fixed in a certain position. Like for moms and pops, it's very hard for them to go online straight away. So, like you said, maybe you can bring somebody who is actually digital native, like a D2C brand, and bring them into the mom and pop shop, and then they can work together. So, like one might be not good at operating a store, so the older person maybe can help him out to sell. Help him to set up just a small space that he can use to demo his product. And at the same time, this retail entrepreneur who's already digital native can help this older kind of business to sell their stuff online. So I think this kind of synergy is very interesting if we can establish it.
That's interesting. So they would be kind of handshaking between one another, bringing one another's sort of strengths and kind of helping
That's why we call it co-retailing.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You're just going to have to make sure you can match the two businesses together, because you don't want like a super old, to quote Koji, a boomer business next to like a new high-tech business. They might not get along together. So I think that and I see that here in Vancouver, a lot of young people want to start their own business, but yeah, rent is prohibitive, and getting cooperative businesses in like the same kind of, I guess not vertical, but same audience would be very beneficial. So I think it's a good idea, especially when places start to reopen. I think this is a great idea. I think you should definitely pursue it, but don't forget North America is still the major market for this kind of a thing, because I think experiences are very big here, and I think it's good.
All right. Thank you very much, David. And we now are on to our last startup of the event. Porta from Indonesia will be presenting. So here we go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lamira Bening, the founder and designer of Porta, a smart home security system for a safer and smarter living. I am a design student who have been working online since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. During this time, I noticed I started upgrading my devices and relying more on them. That got me thinking, what if in the next couple of years, this condition will be the norm? People, especially younger generation, are very dependent on technology, and this pandemic accelerates the phenomenon, resulting in people adopting working from home. For example, I am joining this event online instead of being in person, right? This situation eventually would pave the way for the conversion of traditional homes to smart homes to support this lifestyle. Well, it is undeniable that advancing technology provides comfort that was not available decades ago, especially in a smart home. However, smart devices are created with connectivity first and security second. As each of smart devices is essentially a computer itself, they pose various risks of digital threats. In fact, there are over 10,000 smart home hacking attempts in just a week. In the future, it will become even more difficult to recognize emerging digital crime. The seemingly secure smart homes suddenly don't feel safe anymore. With the problem presented, the solution that we came up with is Porta, a digital gate that is designed to improve smart home security through anomaly detection. It works continuously and seamlessly and is both versatile and simple to use. It comes with a detachable drive that's connected through magnet and uses the latest Bluetooth connectivity to transfer your data. As sustainability is also becoming a concern, this device is made from recycled aluminum, natural rubber footing, and powered by carbon dioxide battery. Porta also utilizes voice-based password that can only recognize your voice to secure your home. Once it detects it's not you, Porta will deactivate. So, how does it work? It really is simple. Connect Porta to your Wi-Fi, then connect your smart devices to Porta. When an attack is detected, Porta automatically disables the Wi-Fi and instead use the backup data to run the devices. Then, it will notify you about the detected attempt. Porta can also restore your device's data into a new smart home, so you will never have to worry about losing your settings or commands. Porta also comes with an app that you can easily download on your smartphones. Monitor your smart devices easily, get notified whenever there are breaching attempts, and receive detailed reports on the attempts. Why is this the perfect time to develop Porta? Well, the global smart home market is projected to grow by almost 40% by 2026 due to COVID-19 pandemic, which means smart home market is one of the fastest growing industries globally, and this makes the demand of data privacy and security in smart homes truly important. We are also targeting Generation Z as the potential customers, as they would make up 30% of the workforce by 2030, and they are also a generation that is very aware of data privacy compared to the previous generations. That include their privacy in their smart homes, which are mainly built based on the older generation's preferences, which are the sense of physical security. We are planning to sell Porta as a physical product with authorized services for device maintenance, providing device insurance, and limited feature models for people to enjoy the basic features, but if they would like to enjoy greater benefits, they could subscribe to Porta services. Currently, smart home securities are still limited to closed environment, while more flexible devices and systems, such as cloud-based connections, are prone to data leaks and other digital threats. Porta aims to bring both flexibility and security to smart homes, thus creating a peace of mind anywhere within your smart home without being constrained to one particular brand or environment. As for my team, I will be working with Panasonic iPro engineers who have extensive experience in creating artificial intelligence and sensing-based security products such as security cameras, health monitors, and remote guards. Thank you.
All right, time for Q&A. Lamira, are you're ready to go? Look at us. All right, this is very seamless. And judges, please share your questions.
Hi, Mira. Thank you for your presentation. I have a demographics question for you. You presented this kind of the market growth story for smart homes. And then you presented the demographic profile for Gen Zs, because they are technically more savvy, they will probably have the need for this kind of product. But at what point would Gen Zs be ready to own those smart homes, and to what extent, do they own those homes now? Or is it like, what's your time frame for this product?
Okay, when I first designed this product, I was actually thinking for the future. So for at least like 10 to 15 years. And but the thing is, the change has started to happen now. So I guess it's a great idea to actually start to developing this idea. So yeah, actually the time frame itself is for the future, because my personas of the Gen Zs are actually like Gen Zs 10 to 20 years in the future. So they would perhaps have owned a smart home by that time. Thank you.
I don't think it's for the Gen Z. It's for the old people. A lot of old people don't know how to use their Alexa speakers and their things like that. They need this to turn on and just help them easier. Are you considering that, or do you really think that the market is for younger people? Because I know how to turn on the Alexa, but I don't know how to turn it. I know my dad doesn't know how to turn it off.
I also actually have that consideration, but yeah, I think why I put Gen Zs there, because they are more they're more aware of their data privacy, right? Compared to the older people. Well, the older people are just like, okay, I think I have my security camera here, it's secure. And that's why I am actually putting it for Gen Z, because they're aware of the data privacy, and the product itself is actually intended to protect you from your data from getting stolen. I'm sorry.
I just want to say that I think I've seen this product before. I've seen your pitch before. I think it's very good. I think you should definitely. It has to be a third party like yourself to create something like this, because everybody's going to be against you for building this. So good luck with it. I just wanted to say that to you.
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I appreciate the pitch and the sort of perspective. I think there's sort of like two sort of user groups in mind. There's like the people who know they need something, and you've highlighted your Gen Z demographic, and then there's the folks who need it but don't know they need it. That may be the older customers, and these are the people who are like preyed upon with like phishing scams and stuff like that. Like there's some opportunity. It's an uphill battle, but they may get more utility out of it and ultimately become your loudest champions if you can crack some nut around a group who doesn't know they need it, like an older generation. But wonderful pitch. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the 8 startup pitches. The judges will now be disappearing from the Zoom for about 10 minutes. While the B-Tracks team shows some of the demos that didn't quite make it into the startup pitch. So Jason, Casey, and Kate, I will see you over in the other room, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody.
Elderly Care IoT Organization 8. Robots Works for Elderly Care Center. Let me introduce myself briefly. I'm belonging to Elderly Care Center in Okinawa, Japan. I propose digital transformation of care assistant. The care assistants are actually watching over and paperworking. I'm developing a platform can aggregate all IoT devices. Actually, I picked up 6 IoT devices useful for elderly care center. Point cloud camera, smart wand, sensory bed, smart light and smart air conditioner control, smart medicine taking system, and speech to text for care service documents. I make them integrate into my platform. What do you think an ideal elderly care center? In my opinion, the place there's no burden to caregiver, and the place to providing proper caregiving to who need it. I create an environment where caregivers can concentrate on providing care without burden. Thank you for your attention.
FanPlace is a video sharing social networking application that allows you to create secondary videos of me singing. Before you can post a me singing of copyrighted music on streaming platforms, e.g. YouTube, you need to either create the orchestra sound source yourself or outsource the creation of the orchestra sound source. A service that allows you to assemble orchestral sound sources of various genres and arrangements, and then to distribute the contents in one go. If you post a me singing video of copyrighted music on streaming platforms, e.g. YouTube, and earn advertising revenue, the label will take most of the revenue later. The solution is a system that gives back to the singers through revenue sharing. This is the new registration and login screen for the application. The singer can choose the music. Press start shooting to start singing.
What a difference a day makes.
You can edit the video and post it. Fans can make donations, and the videos will disappear after 24 hours. This is an administrative page that only the singer himself. This is the contact person. Thank you for your attention.
Hello, my name is Yukari Bulen. I'm founder and owner of Holistia Lab. Holistia Lab was born from the real story, the story of only 2% of chance of having cancer turned into the 100% cancer patient to thrive life with some. And now I want to share power of meaning habit. Being in balance is our problem, so to balance is for the solution. I want to call it the wellness BDCA cycle. So you will reset when the problem is still small. So let's unlock our 5 senses from the digital lockdown. What about the smell and experience? Our nose is well connected to the brain, and the mechanism of sense of smell has proven by 2 American scientists in 2004. The time for the sense to the brain only takes 0.2 seconds. So you can hack your brain to feel good with essential oil. Those are the first baby prototype, and the people's feedback was well received. The key is essential oil. Holistia Lab is gender neutral and ESG focused. I would like to ask 3 things: the management team who can operate the business, funding, and professional outside advisor. This is my team that has been supporting my idea. Contact me if you want to unlock your sense of well-being and click Holistia Lab.
Hi everyone, I'm Mayuko Isono, Director of Gallery Rocky Shore. Have you ever bought art before? Have you ever tried to sell them again from your personal collection? Actually, it is not easy to resell artworks. Auction houses not always consign, even if you buy art from decent galleries. Moreover, the gallery generally do not buy in. So what to do when you want to sell from your personal collection? To solve this challenge, I am creating a service called Love It Again. It's an art resale platform. The UI is like that of Tinder. That is why it is called Love It Again. There's literally no service like this in the affordable art. By just like specific art, you will create a collection of your likes. You will find your own taste. Or which gallery in the world you can find your kind of artworks. I consider buying art is not only for storage. Art becomes your family's memory and the asset of your family too. I want to make the gesture of buying and selling art more accessible and easier. By using this app, you can circulate artworks, making profit, find out your own taste, and reconnect with yourself. Thank you.
I believe that Matsuri can solve youth suicide problem. In Japan, about 5 people die from working problems a day. And suicide is a leading cause of death between the age of 15 and 39. And I think youth suicide is a global problem. Why is this happening? I think it's because young workers don't feel psychological safety. We can solve this problem. We use Google Assistant technology to help young people talk about their work problem. Matsuri collects a real voice and provides a psychological safety experience. Why me? I have had the experience of breaking my body and quitting my job due to great stress. And I don't want to feel like this anymore. Wanting to help someone like me, I got a professional mental health license. So I have a lot of experience in mental health. Why now? The youth suicide problem is a serious situation. That is why I think it is time to expand Matsuri globally. I am the only one who can give healing and smiles to young people in need around the world. Thank you.
Thank you for your spending the past, we're looking at 2 hours. Really excited to announce what the judges thought about the pitches. Kudos to everybody. I know it takes a lot of, it's courage to present, do Q&A, especially if, English isn't even your first language. But it was a really exciting couple of hours of seeing everybody's ideas. And we look forward to seeing where you all take your services and products over the next couple of years. So without further ado, why don't we start? I believe, Jason, you will be making the first announcement.
Yes, thank you, John. Our third place is Nyanyo Mart. We want to appreciate them for sharing their vision for the halal vending machine service, and we're really impressed by the fact that you already have units in the market, in the field, and that you're making money, so you already have that revenue going. So you've taken the first step in setting all those processes and building out your business, and we wish you all the luck to continue to build your business and thrive, and thank you for taking part in this week. Tonight, that's a pitch night. Okay.
All right, congratulations, third place winner, Nyanyo Mart. Next, we will have the second place winner announced by Casey.
Porta. Congratulations, Porta. We love the idea. We think that a digital gate that can detect anomalies in the smart homes activities to be a very exciting product for the future. I think there was a little bit of questioning amongst the judges on the audience that you were choosing towards, but I'm sure you will figure that out as you develop your product. So we're all very excited to see what happens with Porta. So congratulations, Porta.
Thank you.
And now, time, I might as well share this slide. Time to announce the winner.
And the drum roll, please. And it's my pleasure to announce the winner this year. And this year, the winner is The Beats. And the judges were pretty unanimous in our decision to recognize not only a great idea of the product, but also the beautiful way in which it was presented. So there was a beautiful story behind it, and there was a clear need, especially in this time, for kind of more emotional connection to ourselves, to the world around us. And consuming music could be also done in a more mindful, more meditative, and more informed way. So very excited about the product. Can't wait until April. Please let us know when the product hits the market. Would be honored to download it and test it out. Congratulations to the company. Congratulations to the presenter. Very well done. We were all very impressed.
All right. Now, each of the winners will be given a minute to say some words. We'll start with third place, Saori-san from Myanmar.
Thank you for the prize, and I want to say that if you're Japanese, can you find halal food in convenience store? It's too difficult, and you will find it how much difficulties in Japan for Muslims. And thank you again. That's all.
Thank you. And second place winner, Porta Lamira.
Thank you so much, everyone, for choosing our product as the second winner. I really appreciate it, and hopefully this win could kickstart my career in startup or any field like that. Please wait for the product to be launched. Hopefully very soon. Thank you.
Congratulations. And the winner of the 2022 SF Pitch Night, Koji-kun from
Thank you, everybody. And I'm very happy to listen to Barzat. And under the pandemic, COVID-19, I feel the isolation, and every country and the society was separated. And then I got the inspiration about these beats so that I can connect the world more and more closer. And then I can see the oneness world again. So under the pandemic, I quit the several jobs, and I focused to create these apps right now. So yeah, I will go to Silicon Valley and the company soon. So yeah, thank you for the fantastic opportunity, Beatrix and everybody. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu.